Because also I've been thinking we need to redo the intro because I feel like I don't make sense when I talk, but I don't think we have time for me to think about it. Okay, so hey guys, and welcome back to Zillennial Support Group podcast, the podcast where your hosts Maria and Silvana, 97 babies, take you back on a nostalgic trip to the early 2000s, late 90s, and reminisce about our childhood, because the modern day is kind of too crazy to cope with. But today we have help. We have a special guest on for this episode. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I can introduce her.
Okay, that's cool too.
We are joined today by Dana Armstrong. Dana is a writer, a barista, and a recent graduate from William and Mary. She's
Ooh.
written for Everything But Scene. She's written for Dog Street Journal, where she was also the editor-in-chief. And she's also written an article for the Pulitzer Center, where she was also a reporting fellow. So, yay.
Ooh, that's so
Hey,
cool.
thank you.
And you're a barista too?
I
Question
am
mark?
literally like just 2 days ago, just got employed, so yay.
Oh my God,
Living the writer's
congratulations.
stereotype.
You
I
have
used
a
to be a
favorite.
Thank you.
barista, so I feel the kinship.
Oh, there we
Good
go.
luck. Just know that
Yes.
the customer is
Thank
always
you.
wrong. That's my advice.
Mm,
You have a favorite drink, Dana?
Oh, I mean, from their menu, like they pretty much sell like the standard espresso drinks thing, but I'm like an Americano girl, or like if there's a
Oh,
pour over option. So I'm an aspiring
Ooh,
coffee snob, I say.
oh, very nice.
But I still have a lot to learn.
You also
that's
really
so
like tea,
cool.
right?
I love tea,
What's
yes.
your favorite tea right now?
Oh, I mean, if you've ever had a London fog, which is like Earl
I
Grey,
love
and
London
then like
fogs. Oh my
milk,
God.
they're so good. So good.
This is our apology to our last British invasion video.
Oh,
Did
I,
we,
I saw that one. It was good. I enjoyed it a lot.
was
You're our one listener.
it?
Yeah, I'm a loyal
Thanks.
fan, honestly. I feel like I
Aw.
know a lot about Sylvana just from like listening, which is weird.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's exciting. I know nothing about you.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm an open
I
book,
know
a
your work on the
mystery.
scene though.
Mm-hmm.
But that's so exciting. I love London fogs. I would drink those all the time in winter. Um because one of my coworkers taught me how to make it when I was a barista. I felt so cool. But I love tea. I'm actually not like a straight, like a drip coffee drinker. I don't like hot coffee or Americanos either. I don't like water. I'm a milk and espresso kind of girl. So that's nice though. Get the variety. What's your go-to drink, Maria?
I feel like I'm basic, so like chai latte. But I feel like I don't know. I think Silvana, you've told me that that's easy to make,
Oh yeah,
and
baristas, at least at Starbucks, they love it when you order that because it's really easy to make, at least ice chais. I know other places are a bit more complicated with how they make their chais. They're a bit more authentic, but at least at Starbucks, they love it when you order that.
because I'm just like of the opinion that I want everyone to like me, and that I want to be everyone's favorite. So I
Oh
want
my
to be my
God.
barista's favorite. Like I can't even tell you how hard it is doing therapy because I'm like I want to be my therapist's favorite.
Wow. Actually, I'm pretty sure John Mulaney suffers from the same affliction of like needing to be liked by everyone. So you're in good company. I'm pretty sure that ensures, a very successful comedic career. So I think you're on
Come
the right
on, give
track.
me a call.
Yeah. So no need to, unwrap that trauma and figure out why. Just
Hmm.
just go with it and it'll
Sure.
take you places.
So if you don't go to our school, which I don't know why you wouldn't go to our school because our one listener is right here if you go to our school. Um, but the school that we've already mentioned, but we're gonna censor. They had a bit of drama because I guess someone got broken up with in a 6-page MLA formatted letter.
Ooh, wait,
Um,
question. Did the person who posted this, did they write the essay or did they receive the essay?
I think they received.
Oh,
I think it
really?
was like posted through friends, maybe.
Maybe.
Was this just
Mm.
like circulating around?
Well, there was a
Maybe.
clause in the essay that you could share it with whoever. So we're
Wait,
you,
so this was written for an audience as well? Like they knew
Well,
they wanted people to read it, or
well, everyone did.
I guess it's like their side of the story. They wanted to make sure it wasn't like messed up. I don't know.
does it mention names?
I think so, but
I
they
think that
were
they
blanked
censored
out from
it.
the letter. Yeah.
Wow, I haven't read this at all, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the two parties. They wrote it at 12:58 p.m.
Ooh,
Yeah, or 3 days ago.
ooh. Would you like me to read it to you?
All 6 pages?
I don't know. I can try to censor some of it,
Maybe
or just like
A
maybe let's
highlight
start with the
reel.
introduction.
okay. So it's called The Breakup, a reflection, an explanation, and what comes next. 1. Introduction. I would like to start this all off by simply saying that I'm sorry. It pains me to do this, and I've never exactly been good with ending things. That being said, I feel it is ultimately necessary. This will hurt like crazy for you, and I'm aware. I have been there before, and it is an experience I never want to repeat, though likely will in the coming years of my life. However, I do believe that it is far better that I do this now. I'm so sorry, my voice cracked from the emotion. I
Okay,
do this now.
13-year-old boy.
Do this now rather than later. I would also like to preface this by saying that I am aware of how odd this is as a method of communication for matters of the heart. It is a very cold way of conducting these matters, but I think that any non cold method of communication may potentially be emotionally confusing. Hence, the writing style here is very different from the way that I have normally spoken to you in the past. Nevertheless, I find it necessary to put this in writing to make my intentions clear, as statements made during emotionally intense moments are often misconstrued. This
Mhm.
document is representative of everything I think about this situation as of the date it is sent, and I would encourage you to revisit it if you ever forget the reasons that I ended this in the first place. I would encourage you to write a document of your own as well if you want to make clear your positions on anything or dispute anything said in this document. Finally, I would like to note that all parts of this document are free to be shown to anyone you wish, and it is not at all meant to be kept secret.
Oh.
And that's what we're cashing in.
Okay. So far there's nothing too personal
Mhm.
here. But just going off the intro, I want to say it's written by a boy or a man or a guy.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that the impression you guys got?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Because my take is that
Mhm.
men are cowards. And this is a very cowardly way to break up with someone. And also the assumption that this will hurt like crazy for you, and I'm aware.
Will it?
Men love to pretend that they're self-aware, but they're not. But also just assuming someone else's emotions is not a cool thing to do. But also they're sort of it's the kind of thing where it's like they're aware they're being an asshole, but they're doing it anyway because it's the best course of action for them. But I think it's funny, but I also think it's a dick move. But like, I don't know, kids can be dicks sometimes. So I guess it's nice that they wanted them to be able to share this with the world. We love outside opinions on
Right.
matters. It's a very like intense, like intimate matter to, expose to the world.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
interesting.
You're right. I'm gonna try to find some of my favorite parts. Um,
Ooh, wait, there is a comment that says, oh, this has to be like bait. Like it's got to be swampy bait, not meant to be kept a secret. I know you said it was real elsewhere, but I can't believe it. And then someone responded, it's 100% real, I
oh my
promise.
god.
Okay. You want to move
Yeah,
on to the next
this is
section?
wild. Um, this is obviously the most difficult part of it all of the why and explanation because I imagine to you everything seemed perfectly fine until this moment. This was mostly intentional. I just really like that one little hint of menace for
The
some
mostly
reason.
intentional of
Um,
menace.
and here, wait. Oh, I love this. This is awful. Um, you have been very willing to have any kind of conversation with me, and I have always appreciated that. But put quite simply, I have very different kinds of conversations with my friends that I enjoy more.
Oh my
I find
God.
I
debate and
forgot that
trying to
part. That was
develop
bad.
I find debate and trying to develop worldviews with others to be the most invigorating and passionate kind of conversation possible.
Wow, wait. So in the beginning, he's mostly like, it's me, not you. But then he goes on to say, I just don't like you at all.
Wish you debated more.
And I don't like your personality. Wow.
It's wild. Yeah, no, I love this part. During our time together, I learned about the joys of oat milk, a fair amount about composting, a lot about relationships as a whole, and overall, I consider it to be a great experience. Oh, oat
Wow.
I feel
milk.
like if those are the highlights, like, surely there was more. Like, did they have any fun experiences together? Like, was it really just oat
Also,
milk? I don't know.
also at one point he uses Latin, which is
Yeah,
just, ooh, dick move. Oh my God. Like you don't go to Harvard. Don't use
right?
Latin.
Yeah, this is just
I think
so.
it's just the fact that the headings are bolded in like Roman numerals. It's just so strange.
I just love the logistics.
But also he's doing this really like impersonal, almost robotic mode of communication to avoid emotion. But you have like breaking up kindly is all about emotional intelligence. And so he's just removing any emotion from the conversation so that he doesn't have to be vulnerable in a really vulnerable conversation. So it's just a cop out with the guise of professionalism and maturity when really it's emotional immaturity preventing him from having a real breakup conversation. Um, because again, men are cowards. So I feel like that's my main argument here.
Yeah. A note on further relations. I do not think that we should continue communicating for the rest of the summer. I think that is emotionally counterproductive for us both, but especially for you. Talking to me may prove to be emotionally confusing and draining, and your number one priority should be rebuilding your friend network.
Oh my God, trying to decide her priorities. Oh my God.
I just think it's so funny that it's like we know you're gonna take this hard. I don't feel like you dodged a bullet.
Yeah. Well, there's a point lower called logistics
Mhm.
where he goes into how he has to cancel all their plans and refund tickets and like or deal with, canceled plans and stuff, which is not fun.
Yeah. I just like the part this will be difficult and honestly talking to others is the best way to get through it.
Wow.
Thank you for the advice. Um, if you need to communicate with me for the rest of the summer, I will have you muted on all instant messaging
Oh my
platforms to not
God.
encourage continued contact. However, if there's something that's absolutely necessary, you can always send me an email and I'll respond within a few days.
Oh my God.
You're not a
in
business.
in 3 to 5 business days.
I just love it so much. Um, and then the conclusion. Oh, this was great. So I'll read it in full. I'm sorry. I hope for your swift emotional recovery after all of this. I do not think there is any possibility of us re entering romantic relations, and I would advise you to search for other partners as soon as you are emotionally able. I say this completely genuinely. I do not think it will be long until you find your one. You're incredibly
Ew.
nice and sweet, and come one day you will have the relationship of your dreams. It is sadly not this one. As
Wow.
for me, I'm not sure where life goes from here, though I think it more than likely I'm going to take some time off from this whole relationship thing for a while and live the single life for a bit. Who knows? I look forward to whatever awaits the both of us in our separate lives. I have a feeling it'll be pretty great for you. The wheel weaves as the wheel wills.
Oh my God. Okay, I
Your
have
Farewell, and I'm sorry for everything. Good luck and Godspeed in your future endeavors.
I have so many thoughts. Okay, so first of all, oh my God. Oh my God. I'm overwhelmed. But okay, first of all, he's like, oh, you will find the one or whatever. Like, okay, first of all, you're not an authority figure. Don't tell her what is going to happen in her life. Number two, like, he's having this conversation in a way where he's allowed to say what he wants and doesn't give her a platform to respond or say her thoughts on the situation or give her opinion on things. So, super cowardly, not a two-way street, which all conversations should be. Like, you're not an authority figure. Oh my God, the way they speak, which I'm assuming he's a guy, which could be wrong, but I'm willing to take the fall if I'm wrong. Like, if I'm wrong, that's fine, but I don't think I am.
But yeah,
But
why didn't he use any
damn,
citations?
right?
True, yeah.
Something from like, even if it's like Cosmo. Like, this is the proven way to
Right.
get over a broken
Also,
heart.
the thing is, I've seen the idea of breaking up with someone through MLA format floating around online. So he's obviously not originally creative enough to think of this himself. He found it online and was like, that's a good idea. I need an out. And then also, I think he said somewhere where, oh, this might come as a surprise to you because everything seemed fine before, which is also, so he's clearly hiding his emotions, not communicating his issues in a way to hope to resolve anything with her. He's bottling up his emotions until he's just like, instead of learning any conflict resolution, he's just cutting off the relationship to begin with. Which is
Yeah.
just, this shows me that he has not a lot of emotional maturity. And I think his goal was to come off as mature and composed as possible, and it backfired, at least to me as his audience. But he's probably really chuffed with himself, so that's fine. Go live. He'll just go live his life. But yeah.
I just like wonder what else was in MLA format before this. Like, I wanted to see if they were like, this is why we should go to Applebee's, and these are my 3 reasons why, and a thesis statement.
Well, I think it's just really weird how he's like, okay, you can craft your own. I encourage you to do your own. Like, it's not like it just feels very like professor student,
Yeah, like
which is
pedantic.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
There's a poll going on which um major people think this person is in. What do you all
Ooh.
think?
Maybe
Well, that's
public
a good point because
policy.
if he wrote it in MLA, that's like the English one.
Right?
So
Yeah.
is that a clue?
Yeah.
Because it's not Chicago, which is history.
Yeah.
I don't know
Oh.
what science
Honestly,
uses.
I don't think so, but he could be a film bro just because a lot of the guys in the film department were really pretentious and we did write our essays in MLA format.
Mm.
Um, but
See, I'm thinking
who's to say?
philosophy.
That could be
Oh,
interesting. Did we have a philosophy department?
Yeah.
I was not super present in school activities, so I don't think I wouldn't know. But that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely like humanities though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think
seems
there
like
was
he's
enough
written an essay a few times with all that
Mhm.
Latin just sprinkled in there.
Yeah, I feel like, do philosophy majors use Latin as like group or like ways of thought or modes of communication?
I don't
Like,
know. I knew like a lot of
I know they use Latin in law.
philosophy. I knew a lot of philosophy people that were like also knew like Latin history and stuff, and like
Mm,
I don't know. It was just very, there seemed to be this weird parallel.
yeah, I would love to know what like the general public's thoughts are on this, just because it'd be interesting to see like if this was an acceptable way to communicate versus
Oh yeah.
people who have issues with it. But
I
But
think I really just want to see this on like The Bachelor. Like someone
yeah.
just comes up to The Bachelor and is
ooh.
like, "Here is my paper citing all the reasons why we're not meant to be."
Yeah, but so IR is winning with 246 votes.
Oh
For people,
yeah.
most people think it's international relations.
That's a lot of people are IR. So I think also numbers wise, that's probably a good possibility.
And then business with 46 votes. And then philosophy with 38.
Ooh. Yeah, I
One
don't think
person said
business.
narcissism.
Definitely very accurate. But yeah, I don't know about business. I honestly, okay, so business people write essays in groups. They don't actually write their essays themselves. So I don't think it would be business.
Yeah.
But they definitely have that narcissistic attitude that I get where people are coming from.
Yeah. Oh, really crazy. And I think it was like the two people were put together through like the marriage pact, which I had never heard of. Because I think that was after my time. But Dana, was it there when you went to school there?
Yes. Yes. So that was my final year, like I think it was 2 months before graduation. So that's the other thing is like this relationship couldn't have been going that long because I think we got our results, I want to say May, like early May or late April. So that's strange. But the relationship pact in general, it's basically you filled out this questionnaire online and it's supposed to align people with your same values and morals and find your perfect match. So after like, I think it was a week or two, we got our results of who statistically or through this poll was our perfect match. So my match was like a 98%, which was very scary. And
Oh
apparently
wow.
other people got like similarly high ratings, but I don't know. I didn't see or like overhear a lot of good coming out of that. I mean, I guess this
Wow.
came out and it didn't turn out well, seemingly.
Did you connect with your person?
I did. I reached out to him and I was like, hey, this is weird. I just want to get some closure. And luckily, he was a very nice person, so that was
Yay.
good.
Aw.
Um, and it was literally just like a two exchange email thing. I'm like, hey, hope you're doing well. This is me. Hope we can get closure, move on. Haha, this was fun. And he did like the same thing. So it was nice. He seemed nice enough, but like no sparks were formed.
Is it time to send the essay?
Oh, that's true. Maybe I should do a follow up. Just like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize the structure of this. I should have laid out something more formally.
Perfect.
Well,
Yay. So should we go back next into talking about American Idol? So what was everyone's like growing up with American Idol? Was that something that you watched a lot? Silvana, do you want to
So
answer?
I really loved Kelly Clarkson when I was
Oh.
young. I don't really remember watching the first season. I was like cognizant of the whole like Justin to Kelly thing and how it was like a big deal, but I wasn't like a watcher of American Idol then. And then I think by the fourth or fifth season, it was like a big family thing where we watched it every week. Like the auditions were really funny, and so that was a big thing. And I remember there was one season with this girl, Kelly Pickler, I think her name was, and like my
Mm-hmm.
mom was a huge fan, and so we like paid attention to her and stuff. And then I remember Carrie Underwood winning. That was a big season. I forget which season it was. Maybe it was like 4 or something, 8, 7. I have no idea. But
it was four.
it was
Yes.
4.
I have the notes here.
I really liked her. And then after that kind of season, I know there was Catherine McPhee and we really liked her. But after that season, they kind of like went down talent wise. And then their ratings also slipped. So I remember it got canceled and then it got picked up again. Like they just rebooted it. And then I never watched the reboot version because by then all the judges had left and it was too different that it didn't really hold the same. It didn't hold any nostalgic value to me as like like this was a show I used to watch when I was a kid. It was just like, oh, there's like that bastardization of the show I used to watch as a kid. And then like, I don't know, I like Katy Perry, but she's on the show and I'm just like, I can do without that. So, and then all the other judges, I have no idea who they are. So
I
no
think
appeal.
currently it's like Lionel Richie, Katy Perry, and a country artist.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
there used to be Keith Urban, but it's not him, I don't think.
Interesting.
Anymore.
Oh, I think I remember it being Keith Urban for a while, but
Then there was like another guy who that's all I got.
There was another guy.
Oh, there was Harry Connick Jr., I
Yeah,
think.
that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, he
I
was
mean,
in
he's kind of like a
Laundry.
jazz guy.
Did you watch it growing up, Dana? American
I
Idol?
did, yes. I kind of like my first memory of it is like I was at my childhood friend's house and it was the season finale and I think it was like the Carrie Underwood one and we were all rooting for her. We were gathered around the TV. It was a good time. But my parents got me really into the CDs.
Mm.
So I like associate childhood drives with just like choose the American Idol CD and insert it in the car, which is weirdly like a past thing now. Like cars don't
Yeah.
even have CDs anymore, or like the CD players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Even
I
laptops, they don't
have,
have CD-ROMs anymore. So I
yeah, yeah.
I know people who like would like because vinyls and CDs are kind of coming back into style, like weirdly, that I know people who've bought a CD for an album release recently and then realized they don't have a way to play it. And so they just display the CD like album artwork, but they don't actually play the CD.
Wow.
Yeah, I do have Kelly Clarkson's first CD and then Carrie Underwood's first CD. So like their big release after American Idol. We did go out and
Mm-hmm.
buy those.
Hmm. I don't
But
think I ever bought the CDs. I don't know. I don't know when like YouTube started, but like
that was like 2007. So I
yeah.
think it was like season 6 or 7 by then.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Kelly Clarkson won in 2001, either 2000 or 2001. But I definitely think it was like a new millennium TV show kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely feel like it had a lot more pull back in the day. And like everyone who won was like, they got radio play and it was like a big thing. I think there was like American Idol tours at one point,
Mm-hmm.
but I think
Yeah.
since like the 2010s, it doesn't really have that kind of pull anymore.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure The Voice is like the number one singing competition now, except actually there's that weird thing, the Masked Singer, which is like not really like there's no undiscovered artist getting record contract, but it's like celebrities singing in a weird voice, dressed in super weird costumes, and then celebrities guess who those people are. It's very confusing, but apparently super successful ratings wise. So,
I saw like a conservative Twitter account that said that they started Mass Singer right before COVID so that everyone would get used to wearing masks and that
Oh
the
no,
reality TV show
conspiracy.
oh
started
wow,
COVID. So there you have
crazy.
it.
Wow. I can't believe they invented COVID just to boost the Masked Singer's ratings.
Right?
Mm.
Now there's Mass Dancer too, which feels like a hazard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I might have watched one episode of that,
Mhm.
but I can't even remember who it was. Because I don't know if they use actual dancers or just like still just celebrities that don't usually dance. I don't know.
I know someone from Dance Moms was like on it. I don't
Oh,
know who else. Yeah.
that's weird. Because I feel like the Masked Singer is like, if you can recognize the tone of someone's voice, it's like that kind of skill. But with a masked dancer, it's just,
Ooh, I recognize that hip hop anywhere.
right? Like, I feel like it's less of a thing. But I don't know. I feel like American Idol was definitely like the OG singing competition where it like created a whole genre of TV shows or of like unscripted TV shows. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely think, especially with the earlier artists, people have lost faith in like the record contracts that they provide the winning person with. Like there's definitely a lot of like legal subclause and stuff, like they don't have a lot of control over their music or their style, so people are less likely, like especially like more talented people are less likely to go that route to get discovered, especially with social media. Like you can get better contracts and more money if you go like the grassroots route versus winning a competition. So I used to hear like, oh, you should go on the competition to get like the exposure and then don't win, because then you don't want to get trapped into like a really bad record contract. So I think that was discouraging like more talented people from entering the competition. So like it was less like you got less and less like Carrie Underwood's and Kelly Clarkson's, because those are like household names now. Whereas like the people who won like in the last 5 years, no one knows who they are. So
Yeah. I think the
Yeah.
last one that I remember is like Philip Phillips, but he
Oh,
only
Oh,
I
that's on my
only
mind tapped out too.
because I only remember like the one song.
I only remember him
Um,
because of his name too.
Well, I remember that was 2012, like very distinctly because like the London Olympics and Home was like the theme song of the US women's gymnastics team,
Oh.
and they always had ads with that, and I always like associate that with that, like with that summer.
Oh wow.
That's so crazy.
True.
Yeah, did
Wow.
you?
TBT.
Yeah, no, did you all watch like the auditions? Because I feel like in the later
Hmm.
years I would just like randomly turn on the TV and I would catch the auditions and then I wouldn't watch the actual show.
Same. Yeah, I feel like after a while I would like watch the auditions for a laugh because it was funny, and then wouldn't actually get invested into like the singing part of it anymore. Because there also like there were less people that I like was invested in enough to follow the show for, or like to turn on each week to see how they did. Um and like yeah, I also think like yeah, they got less talented people, and so I was like, oh, I don't want to watch people sing poorly for an hour, you know?
Well, I think one of the biggest cultural moments in America, at least for me, was like, do you all remember the Pants on the Ground audition?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I do. Wow.
I remember walking into I think it was like my fifth grade math trailer, because like our whole fifth grade was in these trailers, and everyone was just like quoting and singing that song the next day, and I miss like that camaraderie of like everyone watching the same show and then the next day just like talking about it.
That's very
Yeah, that's so true. Because I feel like that was also like a thing like in the days of cable television when everybody would like, or broadcast television, I don't know, when everybody would like watch, if they wanted to watch a show, they'd all have to sit down on their couch at the same time, like all across the country. And with streaming, you don't get that like universal experience anymore.
Mhm.
The last time I felt that was kind of like the Game of Thrones series finale, where like
Mhm.
I was still working at Starbucks then. So like we had customers come up and like ask us our opinion and stuff like that. And it was like, oh, you could like talk to a stranger and everybody would know what was going on.
Mhm.
But these days with streaming and like everybody has their sort of like niche part of television, you don't really get that countrywide experience of like everybody watching this same show.
Yeah. Now I feel like you just have like the Super Bowl and
Yeah.
politics.
Because also, even if everybody's like, because like I feel like tons of people watch like Schitt's Creek and stuff like that, but
Mhm.
because of streaming, like people are in different seasons
Mhm.
or people will watch it all in one go. You don't really get to live your life like watching each episode each week. You sort of just like binge it all in one go. So there is a lost experience there, with the death of like broadcast TV and the death of American Idol popularity. But I do think, I don't know, maybe it's just like something that was nice in the past and now we just have to let it go.
Yeah.
I do think that NBC, like they tried to do those live musicals at one
Mhm.
point, and actually, I
Um,
think I don't know if you saw The Sound of Music with Carrie Underwood, but she like played Maria von Trapp,
Ooh.
and it was mixed reviews. Like her singing was great, obviously, but her
yeah.
acting wasn't the greatest, and I think she got a little slammed for that in the media.
Aw.
But
Yeah, I
then like
definitely
later
remember
on,
those.
yeah, and like Jennifer Hudson, she was Motormouth Maybelle in Hairspray. And
Oh,
Jennifer
wow.
Hudson, like she didn't win, and I think she got eliminated very early on, but I
Mm.
think she's one of like the biggest people to come out of American Idol.
Yeah, I think she was like eighth or something one year, but then,
Yeah,
was one
yeah.
of the more successful people.
Yeah, I think
And she's even Aretha Franklin on like the
ooh.
movie that's coming out soon.
Oh,
That'll be exciting.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. But I definitely think like the live musicals and stuff like that, they were trying to recreate like that feeling. And they had like stuff like that in the 50s and things where like like something was premiering at a certain time, and so everybody across the country would see it and sit down. But for those live musicals, I remember they just like weren't that good. I guess they couldn't, and they got pretty big name people, and like
Yeah, I
I
remember
don't
Peter
know.
Pan.
Yeah, I remember, I think they did Grease once with
Vanessa.
Julianne Hough and then Vanessa Hudgens, or Vanessa Ann Hudgens.
Vanessa
Yeah.
Ann Hudgens. I remember her as
Um,
Ann.
I just remember that. I think that was 2015. I remember that particularly because her father died right before she had to perform. And because it was live, you know, they couldn't, there was no pre-tape or whatever. And so that was really sad. And I heard she did well. But yeah, that's the only, it's just a super sad reason of why I remember those things. But they stopped them after a while. They don't do them anymore. Maybe it's because it's like freeform now and it's like not a part of their brand, but
Mm.
yeah.
Well, didn't they do like a Little Mermaid spinoff?
Oh.
I don't know if it was a year or more ago. I remember there was
Oh.
another one, but I don't think I saw it.
I actually have never heard of that before. That's so interesting.
Maybe I'm just making it up. I don't know. I could be.
Yeah.
I love Little Mermaid. We went to see the have you all gone to like the live show at Disney World in Hollywood Studios?
Oh, I didn't know there was a Little Mermaid
No.
one.
Yeah,
No.
there was like a Little Mermaid show, but in mine, they had a costume malfunction, and
Ooh.
so she just never turned back into a human.
Oh
And like
no.
they just continued on, and Eric was like, "Oh, I'm so glad we can finally be together." And it was just so progressive.
Oh my God. But I think I actually was it like one of those performances where it was always underwater and they had those like breathing things? Or am I
What?
wrong? Like I feel like I saw like a promotion on like Disney 365 where they talked about like they would put on these shows completely underwater and you could see through the glass the performance, but they'd like it would just be like facial expressions and like movement of the performance and then there'd be like voiceover or music or something and then they'd have to hold their breath for a long time or they'd have these like brute tubes where they'd breathe in the oxygen every few minutes.
Oh wow.
What?
I
Yeah,
remember
maybe
going to
that's
like
just
the
like
aquarium and seeing like
yeah.
a scuba diver and they like wave to you, but that's
Yeah.
the
Oh.
extent.
No, I'm pretty sure I have this memory from childhood and I have no idea where it's from. But I remember like seeing a promotion for that and thinking it was cool. I don't know if it was like a Little Mermaid performance or if it was just like a performance of humans underwater. But I definitely remember that happening. I don't know if that was a Disney thing. I took a picture once as a kid with a lady dressed up as Ariel, but that was
Just
it.
where was she?
Like in Florida,
Oh.
the universe or Disneyland, Disney World, whatever Disney thing is in Florida.
I thought you were just
Or
like out and
SeaWorld?
about. And just you just went
Not
to a beach
SeaWorld,
and you just
but
saw
yeah,
someone.
because they'd have like princesses taking pictures everywhere, but we had to line up for Ariel because she sat on a rock because she was a fish. So I remember doing that and we like framed the photo too at one point. I don't know if we still have it because we both my family liked Ariel and the Little Mermaid a lot, but I don't know, the love faded, I guess. We didn't keep the photo.
Oh my God.
I think that's actually how my mom convinced me to do swim lessons. Like when I was very little, she was like, "You'll be like the Little Mermaid and we can watch it." Because I hated swim lessons and I still like I can do enough to like keep afloat, but I'm not the greatest swimmer.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember taking swimming lessons as a kid. I also hated it. I liked swimming in general, but I hated someone telling me how to swim a certain way. Um, and then we reached a point where we had like taken all the lessons, all the levels of lessons for our age group. But my mom wanted us to like keep busy or whatever, so she made us retake the same class just to like send us somewhere. And it got really boring. But yeah, I'm terrified of the ocean, so I don't really swim.
Me too.
But I know how, I guess.
I hope. But yeah, no, that's very. Do you like? Okay, back to American Idol. Um, Dana, do you still watch the show now?
I don't. I haven't watched it since. I mean, I don't even know if I saw the Philip Phillips season,
Mm.
but I don't know. I made notes here of, I think like the last thing I remember clearly is the one with Adam Lambert. That was season
Oh
8, so like
yeah.
2009.
I remember
Which
he
he
went on
also very
Glee.
much like lived the dream. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Queen, he went on tour with
Yeah.
them.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I
Remember
think
like
one of like the
Daughtry?
most, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
He was the same season as like I think that was the golden season in my opinion. Hot take. It was season 5, 2006, and I have this like poster
Ooh.
from that season. So that was the one with Kelly Pickler and Catherine McPhee. Yeah, Daughtry.
Then
Um,
like Taylor Hicks one or something, and I've never
yes.
heard of him ever again.
No way. Okay, so he is the most underrated person ever. I will die for him. He is amazing.
Really?
He's so good. His music, like, it's classic Americana. Like, if you were to tell someone this is what American music is, it's so good because he does like R&B and soul and jazz. He even brings in some gospel. Like, it's good
Wow.
stuff, but just because he was so like not pop, he got like dropped from his record label and he still does stuff now
Wow.
apparently, but he just is more under the radar. So like justice for Taylor Hicks because he won and he's so good,
Yeah.
but like no one knows
Yeah.
about him.
Well, because part of the competition, I guess, or I guess what they were looking for was like not just talent, but also the like personal appeal of like the like they have to be idolized by Americans. And so part of it is the like, can we sell this person as like a personality versus just like their singing voice or ability? And sometimes they like were successful with that and sometimes they weren't.
Yeah.
But I remember, I think the second person ever who won American Idol was a gospel singer. And so he's been super successful with gospel music, but like he's never been on the radio and stuff like that. I forget his name though.
Is that Ruben?
Yeah, I
Oh
think that's
gosh.
right, Ruben.
Ruben Studdard, that's his
Yeah.
name.
And I
Yeah.
think his runner up was Clay Aiken, if I'm not mistaken.
See,
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
Clay Aiken's name, but I could not tell you anything he's
Well,
ever
didn't he
done.
run for like political office
What?
somewhere?
He
I
tried to
think
run
he
in South
did.
Carolina, maybe North Carolina,
Oh,
one of
oh,
the Carolinas,
yeah.
and he was successful, within his party, but he didn't win his district because
Mm,
they're still pretty conservative down there. But because I remember him being like a huge cultural icon back in the day, but never really listening to his music. But he kind of reminded me of the character Jack Frost from like that Santa Claus movie where they had like Martin Short dress up as Jack Frost. And I remember thinking, oh, that kind of looks like Clay Aiken.
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think the only other one I remember recently, because I downloaded the song, was Katie Turner. I
Oh,
feel like
I
she was like
remember
2 years
seeing
ago. She
videos
was
of
like,
her on YouTube.
yeah, there was like 21st Century Machine. I think
Yeah.
anyone who does like original songs, but then I like wonder if like she still owns it or
Right. It's tricky because I don't want the show to exploit, younger artists. Oh, I
Mhm.
remember I think actually with the reboot, one of the girls who won was like a ukulele girl and she had like dirty blonde hair. And I remember I think I just like seen a video on YouTube of her performing like Over the Rainbow or something.
Mm,
And I really liked her, but I just like never followed up because it wasn't a show that I watched.
yeah.
And then Katie Turner, I also remember her. I also think she mentioned like Paramore or sang a Paramore song once. Or maybe just Haley Williams posted her on her Instagram story once. But I remember being like, oh, nice. Like I remember them being like in social media or like being talked about during their season, but then afterwards, like I never really followed up on them. And I don't know if they sort of like gained any sort of following from that afterwards because it's
Yeah.
been a few years since either of them were on the show.
Yeah. I don't know where most people are now. Like, I think it's just Kelly
Just
Clarkson.
in general, like you don't know where people
Yeah, I don't know where
like where's your
they could
where's
be
your parents
anywhere.
supposed to say?
Well, luckily for you, I
Oh,
researched some of this.
yay.
So,
Ooh.
honestly, like a lot of people seem to end up on Broadway, which
Hmm.
is pretty good. I
Ooh.
mean, there was some people that had just like fallen off and kind of just like started families and stuff, but let me see if I can find in my notes. Um, well, Kelly Clarkson, first of all, she has her own show now,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
a TV
yeah.
daytime show.
I like her show. I've seen it a few times. I think she gets good people to interview, but then she also has a segment where she herself makes covers of other songs or popular songs of the moment. And I thought that was so cool that you get to like see her perform on her own show as well.
Cute.
But also her now ex-husband produces the show, and so um that seems like not a fun time anymore.
Yeah,
Their
yeah.
lives are so entangled, but they divorced, so I don't know
Well,
if I
the
could do
song
that with
Piece
an
by Piece,
ex-husband. Oh yeah,
yeah,
it was written
it's
about
such a
him.
cute song, and now it's like, yeah, they
Yeah.
divorced.
Wow.
Very sad, which,
Heartbroken. Anyways, love is dead. It's fine.
but on that same topic, Jordan Sparks, who she was the season 6 winner in 2007, she dated Jason Derulo for like 3 years,
Oh yeah, I remember
apparently.
that. I remember they were like talking about very publicly talking about getting married, and then he broke up with her, and it was sad. But I don't know if she's done anything since. I think she's also done Broadway work, but I'm not sure. I know she's done some like movie, TV, small roles and stuff like that.
Yeah, I saw like she went on tour with people. So the Jonas Brothers and Britney Spears, apparently she opened for them.
Hmm.
And she also guest starred on The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody in Big Time Rush.
Oh.
So I don't remember those episodes, but that's
You there?
quite cool.
Wow. Yeah, no, I don't remember that at all.
Wow. Actually, one of the big American Idol moments is I just remember watching the Demi Lovato documentary, and apparently the last time she drank alcohol was the day before they performed on American Idol.
Oh,
And so
wow.
American Idol is in my memory solely because of that one performance, because apparently she was so hungover, she had like thrown up right before she went on stage. But
Yeah, I feel like that would do it. Just like, mm.
but I remember because they were like a judge on the X Factor, and that was another big singing
Oh, yeah,
show.
yeah,
And so they had a relationship with Simon Cowell, and he was still involved with American Idol and
yeah.
stuff.
Mhm.
I also think him leaving American Idol was a big uh, push for why American Idol like lost ratings or got
Yeah.
canceled. Is it still on? I actually don't know.
It is, yeah,
It is.
because
Oh.
ABC revived it in 2018.
Hmm.
So
And it's
it's
been
still
on
going
since then.
on.
That's
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
cool.
but
remember
none of
back.
the original judges are
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, because it was like Simon Cowell, Paula Abdul. Who was the other guy? He just said like
Randy
nice dog.
Jackson.
Thank you.
Randy
Yeah.
Jackson. Oh, I remember Randy Jackson was featured, or at least his cutout was featured in iCarly. Throwback to a previous podcast episode. But yeah, because they were big cultural icons like Paul Abdul, Randy Jackson. Like people
Mhm.
would quote things they said all the time. But yeah, I feel like once all three of those left, then it was kind of like, oh well, people don't really have a reason to watch anymore. But
But is Simon Cowell actually good at his job?
well,
Like,
Who is
he's
he
he
in
seems kind of
general?
like an
Like, how did
annoying
he?
person. He also impregnated his best friend's wife. So kind of a skis bag there. But he did a lot of work on a lot of different singing competitions in the US and in England. And he created One Direction. So I feel like he does have like an industry mindset of like he knows what sells and what works and what doesn't.
mhm.
But he's been successful in a few of his decisions, but he's probably made some bad decisions,
But like,
career wise as well, or industry wise.
if he chose all the, because I remember that he was like a producer or something, and if he produced all
Yeah.
of the American Idol people that we've never heard of again, I feel like you don't want to work with him.
Yeah. So I feel like because of Kelly Clarkson and Carrie Underwood, people sort of respected him a lot in the industry. And then, he reached a point of diminishing returns. He had that like white t-shirt thing going for him. And I think because he was so mean, people liked that he was honest, but also people liked having a common enemy of like, oh, everyone hates him. Like you can like be friends with someone bonding over how much you hate Simon Cowell. But Yeah. I feel like characters like that only, only have so much content in them before it gets repetitive or annoying to hear their
But he
perspective all
is
the
like a
time.
judge on America's Got Yeah, he's a judge on America's Got Talent right
Mm.
now too.
And
So
now
he's
he's
kind of continuing his role in a way.
yeah, and apparently he's being the nice one, and like Howie Mandel is
Um,
the mean one
oh,
this time,
interesting.
which I don't know if that's written or I don't know. That just seems weird.
Yeah. I don't know. He's also he's gotten work done on his face, so he's not as like facially recognizable anymore.
Hmm.
So I don't know if he has that same audience appeal as like a 60-year-old man as he used to. But who's to say?
That just unlocked a memory too. Do you remember in Shrek they had that like after scene with like the American Idol thing? It was like an extra take thing on
Oh,
I don't it might have been Shrek 2 or 3, like a later one.
oh, I
Does
don't
anyone
remember
remember
that.
that? Oh my
I don't know.
gosh, it was like it's iconic. It was like this extra take or like a bonus feature. That's what it's called
Hmm.
on the
Oh,
CD or the DVD, and you could watch it, and it was like American Idol, but it was the people from Shrek and
Oh
like
my
the
god.
animals and characters.
Was
You
it
need to
with
see
the
this. This is iconic.
was it with like the
wow.
judges? Or was it
I think it might have just been Simon,
mm,
and I think maybe Pinocchio was another judge because like
oh,
when he lied about
Oh,
the
I think I
performance,
I
yeah.
vaguely remember this, but
so
because Shrek was such a huge thing. I remember like DVDs and tons of bonus features and stuff like that. They used to be a big thing. Oof, technology moves so quickly.
was there a
But
singing
I think I
competition
even have
before?
Shrek one.
oh
Ooh.
yeah.
Was there a singing competition before American Idol, or is that like the kind of start of
I
singing
think
competition?
I think it was like the first one to get so successful.
Hmm.
Um, I remember there is a Canadian TV show called Instant Star, but I think that was a fake competition. I think it was like a scripted TV show about this teen who won a singing competition. I know JoJo, uh, the singing artist, she won like a teen singing competition, and that's how she got her
Mm.
sort of foot in the door with the music industry. I don't know what competition that was. So I think that
Was it
was a
like
thing, but it
Radio
wasn't.
Disney? Didn't Radio Disney have their
Maybe,
own?
maybe.
Mm.
I can't remember, but I think it was like there were a lot of competitions like that, but American Idol was the first one to like really get a national audience and following and be that
Hmm.
successful. Especially because Kelly Clarkson was so successful that it really put them on the map.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Fascinating. Wow. Interesting.
Woo.
Yeah. I also unearthed from
Oh.
my cabinets. I was able to find how many is this?
Oh
Like
my.
7 or 8 CDs
Oh my
from
god.
Oh
Yeah,
my
back
I
in the
remember that
day.
God.
Kelly Clarkson
So
CD.
Yeah, I have that Kelly Clarkson CD too.
yes,
That was
yes.
such a big record for her.
Mm-hmm.
That like half
Um,
face or
Yeah,
something.
I would
yeah.
play that CD. Like I had my boombox in my room and I would like play it every night. Oh my God.
Does anyone remember Blake Lewis? I think he was the same season as Jordan Sparks, but
Oh.
Oh.
this is his face if you can see it. But he
Oh,
was like
I
a
do not remember
beatboxer.
him.
Oh, his album is like
Oh.
classic early 2000s, like very beatboxing, like mixtape vibe. It's very like electronic too. And some of the songs are like kind of fun, but I don't know. It's just very symbolic of the early 2000s era. Like if you want some nostalgia, that's it.
Oh
I think it's
wow.
called Audio Daydream if
Hmm.
anyone wants to hear it.
Oh,
Yes.
that's crazy. But
Wow.
yeah, because it had like such a huge audience that even if you didn't win, like people would still recognize you on the streets and stuff. And also it's like you got a chance to perform in front of people no matter what. That was a huge boost. But now I think it really is like if you're like an undiscovered artist and you want to get exposure, social media really is the best place to go. And like so many people have gotten discovered off YouTube now that it's like that's more of like a a platform to jump off of than like a singing competition. But can you hear my phone ring?
A little.
But this isn't really American Idol related, but I remember the lead singer of the band Hey Monday went on The Voice, which was a singing competition, and it was always like you go on those if you're not like a professional singer, like you're unsigned and everything. But she was signed to Fueled by Ramen and like was super successful, went on Warped Tour, and then just because like her band broke up, she then like went on a singing competition and she won, obviously, because she like everybody already knew she was good at singing. So I feel like it was kind of like a cop out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that was like a noticeable win in a singing competition that I was like, oh, but I already knew that I liked her. So I feel like she could have just like gotten a record deal on her own.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't remember when that was. It might have been 2013 maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
But
Interesting.
yeah, but she's like she was also changing genres a bit. So I think she's like a relatively successful country singer person. She was also engaged to that guy from All Time Low for a while, but then they broke up too. But classic Hollywood to like get engaged and then break up.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I feel like The Voice is definitely like the new #1 singing show. But even that kind of like it's not like a universal experience to like watch The Voice and stuff.
Well, I remember season 1 too. They also had CeeLo Green as one of the judges,
Oh yeah,
and his song "Forget You" or
that was big.
the other version. But yeah, I remember that as like a huge soundtrack of like middle school and just people singing that a lot. And that song in general is just very nostalgic too. Just
That's still my
takes me
alarm.
back.
Really?
Really?
Well,
Is that how you
Gwyneth
like to wake up in the
Paltrow
morning?
version.
CeeLo Green like telling you off?
No, it's the Gwyneth Paltrow Glee version because I tried to buy it as a song and then I accidentally bought it as a ringtone.
Mari, I'm so disappointed in you. I hate Gwyneth Paltrow in a totally like not actual way. Like she's
Well, I
probably
was
a
a
fine
child.
person. I just dislike her content a lot.
Yeah.
Especially on Glee. I'm not a Glee fan, but it was definitely like a cultural thing of the moment.
I remember when Glee first came out, I was so opposed to it, and I was like, I can't watch this. This is just a High School Musical spinoff. I can't do it. And I feel like I kind of wish I watched it because I think Adam Lambert went on Glee.
Yeah,
I don't know if he was a main
did.
character, but
He was there for like 5 episodes.
Yeah.
And he
okay.
like played himself basically.
As you do when you're Adam Lambert, like yeah.
So he was in a band with Kurt Santana and Santana's girlfriend, who was Demi Lovato.
Oh my God,
Ooh.
TBT. Yeah, that was in like their post high school phase, and it was really interesting to see them adapt to following characters after graduation. But yeah, definitely they had a lot of big celebrity guest stars on that show.
Yeah.
I remember Sarah Jessica Parker was on there for no discernible reason.
It was bad.
But
that was bad.
yeah, I definitely think there was like a time in television where they thought incorporating hit songs of the moment into television shows would like add to ratings, and it definitely did. But I think, yeah, I guess there are still like singing competitions and stuff like that now, but it's like less of a thing. There are a few like musical TV shows. I know Crazy Ex-Girlfriend was big for a while.
But Glee also
that
had the
like
Glee
musical
Project.
numbers. I remember that. I think my sister was a big Glee fan at the time. So I remember watching.
She entered.
I don't know if she did or not actually, but I remember we watched that. I think it like premiered during the summer or something, and I remember we watched that show. And there was supposed to be one winner, and there ended up being 4 winners, and like 4 people ended up guest starring on Glee, and I was like, that's such like a oh, everyone wins kind of thing. But Ryan Murphy was like, well, I get to do what I want. I'm the boss, so if I want everybody to be on the show, I can have everybody on the show. But yeah, But actually, complete tangent, but Diana Agron from Glee is recently in a movie called Shiva Baby, and it was very good, and I highly recommend it.
I haven't seen it yet.
I can't remember if I've talked about Shiva Baby on this podcast yet, but it was a huge life-defining moment, and I really like that movie.
You wrote an
So,
article on it.
I did write an article about it. But yeah, it's on HBO Max now. HBO Go, HBO Now, one of them. It's on there. HBO has a ton of things. They really screwed the pooch with that one. But they have all the good content now. They have Friends, they have The West Wing.
Well, now they have competition. Did you
Yeah.
hear about CNN Plus?
Okay, fuck that,
What?
man.
Oh no.
We need to we as a society need to just put the cap on streaming services. Like, we have enough. No
Mhm.
more.
I just don't know why CNN decided to do one.
They're just recreating cable. It's just like, I don't want this money anymore. I don't want to pay for every channel.
Does anyone want to do a Mad Lib?
Ooh.
Oh,
That'd be
That was a
fun.
I'm so excited.
rhetorical
I've
question.
heard so many.
Okay. Dana, can you give me an exclamation?
Wow.
Silvana, can you give me an adjective?
Oof. Sandy.
And then I do an occupation. I'm gonna say therapist.
Nice.
Dana, could you give me a city?
London.
Thought that was what you were gonna do
Ooh.
because of the fog. Silvana, can you give me an occupation?
Ooh. Plumber.
Ooh. And I'm gonna do a plural noun. I'm gonna say textbooks. Dana, could you give me a verb?
Skipping.
Ooh. Silvana, can you give me a silly word?
A silly word? Oh
Yeah.
my god. I don't know. Flabbergasted.
Ooh.
Oh, that's good.
It was my go-to as a kid when I did Mad Libs.
Verb.
I was
I'm
thinking
gonna
of
say.
that or hullabaloo.
Ooh, that's
Ooh.
nice. Verb. Whack. Dana, could you give me a plural noun?
Dogs.
Ooh. Silvana, can you give me an adjective?
Ooh. Tenderly? Or is that an
Ooh.
adverb? I don't know.
No, I like that. We don't care about grammar. I'm gonna do color. I'm gonna do beige. Dana, can you give me an article of clothing?
Parka.
Ooh.
Switch it up.
Silvana, a part of the body.
Oh god. Spleen.
Ooh.
Oh.
I'm gonna do a noun. I'm gonna say a nun. Dana, can you give me another article of clothing?
Oh my goodness. Chelsea boots.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Specific, yeah.
I was thinking of the name Chelsea earlier today.
Oh, there we go.
Silvana, can you give me a noun?
Car.
Okay. And then I'm gonna do verb. I'm gonna say spray. Okay. So this is The Adventures of Jane Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
Jane Wow is a great comic book. It's the story of Sandy Jane Jones, who is a therapist by day, but sneaks around the city of London by night as a plumber.
Wait, Sandy is also a name. That's so sad.
Jane is asked by a group of textbooks to help them skip and protect the planet from the flabbergasted armada who are going to whack, attack the planet, and destroy all the dogs.
No. Oh no.
Jane Wow has some of the most tenderly gadgets around. Most tender gadgets around? She wears a beige parka on her spleen and carries a rocket-powered nun. She even has Chelsea boots that turn into a car at the spray of a button. I think if I could be any comic book character, I'd want to be Jane Wow. Wouldn't you?
Wow. I feel like wow is kind of like my go-to response. like neutral response to things. But I guess that's a little too on the nose now.
How did she get it on? How did she get a parka on her spleen, though?
I don't know. I mean,
Small parka.
people leave crazy stuff inside bodies during surgery. You know, sometimes they forget towels and instruments. Why
What?
not forget a parka?
No, what?
Does that happen?
No.
Yeah, have you not seen Grey's Anatomy?
What hospitals are you going to?
Oof, anyone. You never know what you're gonna get, doctor-wise, in the hospital. The American healthcare system is not top-notch, you know. We make sacrifices, but it's okay.
Interesting.
I've enjoyed this episode, guys. Have you had a good time?
Yes.
Dana, would you like to tell our listeners, aka yourself, where we can find you on social media?
Oh, well, I think you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, other streaming networks,
Ooh,
platforms,
Ooh.
not CNN Plus,
not CNN
but
Plus.
maybe one day.
And which one do you use as your on your Twitter and stuff? Is it
Oh, my handle?
is it Dana Inkstrong? Is that the one that you use?
Yes.
Dana
Yeah, so
underscore
Dana
Ink-
underscore Ingstrong. Yeah.
Yay. And you just made an Instagram as well.
I did. Yeah, I finally
Ooh.
caved after my whole life.
Exciting. Wow. Yay. Thank you so
Yay.
much, Dana.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been a dream. I'm such a
Yay.
big
It's
fan.
been, aw. But yeah, it's been nice to finally meet you too.
Yeah, you too. Even
Yay.
though we have a blank Zoom
Yeah.
screen, but I trust that there's so much beauty hidden behind that screen.
Thanks. We'll make sure to share your guys' beauty on the video format, which you can check out on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Do you
Zillennial
want to
Support Group.
list the other socials, Maria?
Sure. Yeah. Zillennial Support Group podcast on YouTube and Spotify. And then ZSG podcast on Twitter. And then Zillennial Support Group on Instagram.
Woo.
I think. Yeah. We have to
Yay.
get better at that.
And if that's wrong, I mean, just Google it. You'll find it.
We'll
It's
do
fine.
that.
But
Yay.
woo.
Thank you so much, Dana.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Woo.
Yay.
Also, wait, I want to ask one more question.
Oh, yes.
Which of the three main judges, like the OG American Idol judges, do you identify with?
Do I identify with?
Yeah.
Oh,
Which one would you?
I mean, I feel like Randy was my favorite, but identifying wise, like Paula Abdul, she has some awesome dance moves. So I feel like it has to be her.
Yeah.
I'm a dancer, by the way, for the podcast listeners. That makes more sense.
Yeah. I also feel like Paula Abdul. I feel like I can't be mean, and I feel like she was always the nice one.
Yeah.
Savannah, what do you think?
I just liked her single straight up. It was
Yeah.
so iconic. I
Mm.
sing it all the time. But yeah, I don't know actually. I feel like I would say Paula Abdul as well. She always wore like a tiara for no reason, and I respected that.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Dana.
Yeah.
Yay. Awesome. Bye,
Thanks.
everyone.
All right, bye. Woo.